Hi, my name is Amy Brown of Amy C. Brown Law Firm. I am a personal injury attorney. I handle mostly maritime injuries and motor vehicle collisions. Today I want to talk to you just briefly about auto insurance. In Washington State, the minimum auto insurance you're required to have if you drive a vehicle on public streets is $25,000 in bodily injury liability. That's $25,000 to pay for the injury of the other person if you're at fault. And then, of course, if there's two people, the minimum is $50,000, so $25,000 per person. That's the bare minimum, and that's not for you. That's for the person that you crash into if you're at fault. Most people, from what I've seen, usually have a $100,000 policy, which in my opinion is much better because it's more likely to cover all the medical bills in your typical car crash. If you don't have enough insurance and you are at fault for a crash, you can end up footing the bill of the difference yourself. So definitely make sure that you have enough in your policy so that you will likely be covered in the incident, in the occasion that you are the one at fault. Also, a lot of people just do liability only, meaning they don't have coverage for PIP or UIM. Those are two add-ons that you can opt out of with auto insurance, but both of them I really recommend. They don't usually cost very much to add on to your policy, but when you need them, they're definitely worth it. So first, what is PIP? PIP stands for Personal Injury Protection. It is typically $10,000 that pays your medical costs if you're injured in a collision. So usually you have your health insurance that might pay as well, but if you have PIP, the PIP will be the first to pay any treatment related to that collision up to that $10,000. So if you're injured and you use up all of that $10,000 in PIP benefits paying for your medical treatment, when it comes time to resolve your case, you're going to be better off with using PIP. It's a complicated mathematical equation involved, something called a Mahler case, but as it turns out, it's better to use that money. You'll end up getting a little bit more back if you have an attorney and pursue a bodily injury claim down the road. Also, PIP will cover anything that your physician recommends for treatment for those injuries. Whereas with health insurance, sometimes health insurance doesn't cover chiropractic or massage or certain tests and things that your health insurance might not cover. The PIP covers all that as long as it's related to the crash up until that $10,000. So PIP, good thing to have, personal injury protection. The other one is UM or UIM. You'll usually see it written in a policy as UM/UIM. What this is uninsured motorist coverage and underinsured motorist coverage. This is part of your own policy that pays you in the event that the person who was at fault and injured you doesn't have enough insurance to cover your injuries. So let's say the other person that was at fault that hit you had only $25,000 policy and you ended up with $50,000 in medical bills, and then of course you have other damages and pain and suffering on top of that. So let's say your claim is more worth about $100,000. Well, you'd get that $25,000 from the at-fault driver's insurance, and then your policy under underinsured motorist coverage would make up the difference. So definitely a good thing to have because unfortunately in Washington with that $25,000 minimum insurance, that's not very much. And these days with medical bills, that can be gone very quickly. So it can be really nice to have uninsured motorist or underinsured motorist coverage. Also, even though it is legally required to have that $25,000 minimum in Washington State, there are plenty of drivers out there who unfortunately are breaking that law and don't have any insurance coverage. So again, that would be a situation where you'd be very thankful that you paid for that extra uninsured motorist coverage and have something to help pay for your medical bills, any of your out-of-pocket expenses, and of course your pain and suffering for your claim. So two things that I recommend. One, make sure you have enough coverage to cover a crash where you were at fault and perhaps injure another person. Also, make sure that you have PIP and UIM because if you need them, you'll definitely be glad they were there.